Hey, what's up? MVPTexas.com. It's Jim Bob Breazeale from Ticket 760 and Sports Talk San Antonio. Here for your Game 6 preview, Spurs and Mavs tonight at the AT&T Center. Game 5, the Mavs did exactly what I expected in Game 5. I mean, their lives were on the line, and they came out and played like it. They came out and showed the intensity. They didn't roll over. They were the aggressor. That's what you expect for a team on the ropes. What I didn't expect was the San Antonio Spurs to come out there with a chance to close the team out in an elimination game for the Mavs and just show no effort, no intensity, to play that poorly. That's not something I expected at all. I half expected the Mavs to win that game. I mean, look, they're a good team. They were on the ropes. They're going to fight back. I just didn't expect the Spurs to roll over that quickly. If you're looking for positives from a Spurs angle, Tim and Manu didn't play that much. It was basically garbage time from the middle of the third quarter on. Tony Parker was the only Spurs player that brought anything to the table. He was the only Spurs player that decided to show up in Game 5. And he was the sole reason they were even in it at halftime. They were only down 7 at the half because Tony Parker scored 9 points in an 11-2 run to close out the second quarter. So it's kind of not an abomination, but I don't really know what you can take from Game 5. I don't know what adjustments the Mavs can make. In this game, Caron Butler was huge in Game 5. The Mavs need Caron Butler to be big again tonight. Will he? Nobody knows. The Spurs have played so much better at home. Their defense in Games 3 and 4 were phenomenal. If they can repeat that effort from Game 3 and 4 tonight, I think the Spurs have a really good shot at closing out this series tonight. Really good. Jason Terry is guaranteed a victory tonight. And the thing about the Mavericks is their head. You never know where their head's at. You never know what their mental state is. I expect them to come out, and it's going to be an intense, hard-fought brawl tonight at the AT&T Center because the Mavs are fighting for their life. I said this the other day. The Mavs lose this series to the 7th seed. Now, granted, everybody's calling the Spurs the best 7th seed ever to play the game. If the Mavs lose to us, it doesn't matter if it's the Spurs. The Mavs are supposed to be the better team. They're the number 2 seed in the West. If they lose this series, it kind of affirms everything that's been said about that organization about being soft, and it really looks bad on Dirk Nowitzki. He gets the blame for being soft when all he ever does is raise his game in the playoffs. Dirk Nowitzki, I don't think, is soft. I think he's been a victim of being on soft teams, and so he gets stuck with that reputation. Dirk plays his ass off every night. Dirk raises his game to a different level when it's the Spurs, number 1, and when it's in the playoffs. So I expect a different Manu Ginobili than we saw in Game 5. Manu was terrible. He didn't shoot the ball well, and he had 5 bad turnovers. I mean, not just like oops. They're bad turnovers. He threw it to a different guy, to the wrong guy. He's dribbling in the open court, dribbles it off his foot. That Manu doesn't ever do that. Tim has had probably the worst 2-game stretch of his entire career in the playoffs. Tim, in Game 4 and Game 5, Tim Duncan has been terrible, just to put it bluntly. It's Tim's time now to step up. He and Manu Ginobili have to lead this charge. Because, Tony can do it, but not by himself. Manu can do it, probably not by himself. Not in the playoffs in a Game 6 when the Mavs are fighting for their life. Tim Duncan has to lead this charge, and the big 3 have to be the big 3, and they've got to get something from somebody else, be it George Hill or Richard Jefferson or Antonio McDyess. They have to get people to step up. And Tim Duncan has to be the guy who steps up today and leads the charge if the Spurs want to close this thing out. The Spurs say they're treating this like their Game 7. And I don't think that means they don't feel confident in winning a Game 7 in Dallas. But I do think that when you're a team and you have the opportunity to close somebody out on your home floor and advance to the next round, you have to do that. And, if the Spurs are as good as they've showed us the last, Games 2, 3, and 4, if they're that team, they'll close it out tonight. If they're not, we'll head back to Dallas for a Game 7. So either way, I'll be here to react to either previewing the next series or we'll be previewing Game 7 here on MVPTexas.com. Bye.